back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a video talking about losing my dad. Today makes 13 years that he's been gone. Rest in peace. But yeah, I'm going to share my story on how this all started. I'm going to talk about the journey before his transition, into afterlife. But yeah, so today been 13 years since he passed, kind of made me want to do a video about it, because I know a lot of people have lost parents out here, rather it have been your mother or your father. We've all experienced death in some sort. So I just wanted to share the story with you all. But back into it was before 2007, because I graduated high school in 2007. But he passed in 2007, but he got sick in I can't remember. He was sick for a while, like for a few years. It all started a few years prior to 2007. He was found laying in his backyard, unresponsive. And come to find out, when they took him to the hospital, he had been bitten by some sort of bug, and he ended up having syphilitis. I don't know if a lot of you know what syphilitis is, but it's similar to what's now. But yeah, he had syphilitis, and he was dealing with other health issues, which played a part as well. So after that, my dad went from being absolutely normal, like living a normal life, doing normal things, to really having to be fed by a spoon. He was bedridden. He couldn't drive anymore. His motor skills had stopped. Like different things that he was used to doing, he couldn't do anymore. So you can tell he was kind of agitated by that, because he was an independent man. So he loved getting out, getting his money, doing his own thing. So being in a bed like that, you can tell it was really messing with him. And I'm gonna talk about that later. But okay, yeah. So, he just had to be cared for. And for me, like, now I'm getting better, but back then, it was really hard for me to show emotion. So when I would go around him, I would kind of just be quiet, because I really didn't know what to say or what to do. I had never been in that type of situation. So how do I comfort, someone or my father? So I would just go and sit with him. But it came to a point, I think it was like 2006, it started to get really, really bad. So when I say every other day, my dad was being rushed to the hospital, to a point where they just kept him in the hospital. And in 2006, things started going downhill. You can tell that things weren't getting any better. So mind you, 2007 was my senior year of high school. So I was working, I was on the dance team, and I was preparing to graduate. And also my dad was sick. So every day, after at least 3 to 4 days a week, my grandmother would pick me up after school, take me to the hospital. Well, after I would, I think it was sometimes after practice, she would come pick me up, and we would go straight to the hospital, because the hospital was literally probably 5 or 6 minutes from my school. So we would go up there. I would sit up there for like 2 hours. I would go home, take a shower, do my homework, get up, do the same thing all over again, go to the hospital, sit with him. So I did that for a while, all while preparing to graduate. And so it was a lot of stress on me, and it was just hard to see him that way. Like, I didn't really know what to say, because I was a true introvert then. Like, I'm an introvert now. Like, that's my personality. But back then, I really was just like, I don't know what to say. Like, what do you say to someone who's sick and has pretty much lost all functionality? Like, you can't do anything that you were used to doing. Like, I just didn't know what to say. And so I would just go sit with him, just to comfort him. I would just go up there and sit with him. Me and my grandmother would go sit with him. So in 2007, the end, it was like, it was April. It was, I think, last 2 weeks, well, wait, let me see. End of March and beginning of April, that's when things really started getting bad. So I remember being at the hospital one day, and It was bad. My aunt, my little sister's mother, my grandmother was there with me. They had to make a decision on taking him off of life support. So, yeah, they had to make a decision to take him off of life support. And me being his daughter, my little sister was too young, so it was only me and her. I think my little sister was a toddler at that time, and so of course she can't make any decision. So the pressure was on me to make that decision. And so I had to be the one to determine whether or not to keep my dad on life support and continue to let him suffer, because he had been suffering for years, and he was so unhappy. Like, sometimes he would cry, and it would hurt my feelings. Like, this man, he's not used to sitting down, y'all. He was always on the go. If you knew my dad, you knew that sitting down was a no-go for him. He was always up working, helping people. Like, that was just him. And he had his own construction company, so he was always, he was always working, building, doing what he loved to do. So he when they asked me that, my grandmother was just talking to me. She took me in the room, because that kind of took me fast. Like, the weeks leading up to this, I knew it was coming. And you try to prepare yourself, but you really can't prepare yourself for something like that, being that you have to make the decision on what to do. So my grandmother was just talking to me and letting me know that he is suffering. And you can tell my dad wanted to go, but I didn't want to make the decision. So I was just like, he wasn't really there. He was kind of in a vegetable state anyway. And so I was just like, I don't know what to do. The nurse came out, she talked to me, because mind you, at this time, I'm like 17 years old. And she's like, sweetie, take your time, don't rush. Just talk with your grandmother and let us know, what it is that you want to do, but take your time. And so I'm just like, oh my God, like, this is crazy. Like, I've never experienced anything like this. And so I'm so happy my grandmother was there, because it was so hard for me to just keep my composure. And being so young, I'm having to make this life-altering decision. So my dad's sisters and his father and his father's wife was there. They all started arguing, damn near about to fight. The nurse had to come out and put everybody out. Eventually my grandmother came and prayed with everybody, and the nurse was just, she was more so concerned with me. And so she was just like, everyone needs to get out. If you all can't be in here and act like civilized adults, you all need to go. This child has to make a decision, a serious decision, and you all are in here acting like kids. So my grandmother prayed for everybody. Everyone calmed down. I ended up signing the paperwork, and that's what everyone wanted, and that's what I didn't want him suffering anymore. He didn't want to suffer. You could see it. You could tell he was tired, and he would say oftentimes he was tired. So I knew he was, and I was just like, you know what? I don't want to be selfish and keep him here for my own selfish reasons. So I made the decision to take him off life support. No, he didn't pass away right then and there. They put him in hospice for, I think, a week or 2 weeks. And it was one day, I want to say I went up there April 16th. I had been going off and on, but this particular day, April 16th, I went up there, and my dad was unresponsive. His body was so warm, like super warm. So I was just touching his hands and stuff, and the nurse and my aunts was letting me know that it wouldn't be much longer. And so I'm really just, I don't know what to, I didn't know what to do. And I think my Aunt Willie Mae was there. I believe she was, and she was singing. And it was just like, it was scary. Like, I could see him transitioning over, and I don't know, it was just something that was just, I don't know, it was unreal. And so everyone was like, he hasn't been opening his eyes or anything. You can tell he's passing over. But when I came in the room and I put my hand on his, he opened his eyes. And he kind of just looked at me. And I think that's what he was waiting on, was for me to come. And after that, you can tell he just started to let go. And so I left, gave him a kiss, told him I loved him. I left because y'all, that type of stuff, I don't know. And then it being my dad, I was shocked. I'm like, this is my senior year. Now I gotta deal with my dad passing away. I had never really dealt with like a serious death in a family, so that was my first serious actual death. Like, I had never experienced anything like that, so I was just like, I was shocked. And so I really wasn't talking too much. My grandmother took me home, and it was like the next morning, my grandmother came in my room and she was like, your dad passed. And she was like, do you want to stay at home or do you want to go to school? And I was like, I want to go to school, because I didn't want to just sit in the house and think about it. And, you know, because I know he wouldn't have wanted me to just be down and in my feelings. Even though I was hurt, I was in my feelings, I was sad. I honestly didn't know how to feel, because I had never experienced a death like that. So I was super lost and just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know. I was, yeah, it was something, it was different. And so, and then I was just sad because he didn't get to make it to my graduation. And it was April, and I think I graduated in June, July, one of them. And I was just like, damn, I was just hoping he was going to be able to make it to my graduation. But I knew he was there in spirit, so, you know, that was comforting to me. So yeah, after that, at his funeral, I don't remember anything from his funeral. And I have a tendency to block, when it comes to funerals, I block out a lot of things. And if you ask me about someone's funeral, I promise I can tell you like what I remembered about the funeral. I don't remember where I sat at. I don't remember who was sitting beside me. I don't remember anything. I really feel like I was just in a daze. And sometimes I feel like that's my, and I ended up going to counseling like later on in life, because I felt like I was blocking things, but I don't know how am I blocking these things out when I really real life experienced the situation, but I can't remember it. And so after, when I went to counseling, my counselor did tell me that that's a defense mechanism that you put up. You block certain things that you don't want to think about, things that affect your emotions and causes you to become in tune with your true feelings. You block it so you don't have to deal with that pain. So I was like, you know, I guess that's what I'm doing. And after the funeral, I don't remember. I remember us leaving the funeral. I do remember that. And I remember going home and crying, just breaking down. But I don't remember anything from the funeral. And so that literally was the one time I cried, and then I never cried again. And it was just, that was a source of me. That was one part of why I was dealing with depression and all of that, because I would internalize so much stuff and I wouldn't really just let out how I was really feeling. I wouldn't cry. I would just hold everything in. So yeah, after that, I just started to like think of, you know, reasons why this, you know, could have happened. And for me, my dad he spoiled the hell out of me. Like anything I wanted, I could get. And so I feel like for me, God took him because he wanted me to be independent. And me losing my dad has taught me how to struggle. It has taught me how to overcome certain situations. It has taught me how to become independent and how not to rely on anyone. My dad was one who didn't want me to work. He wanted to provide for me. He wanted me to wait until I graduated college to work. Like, that's the type of dad I had. And I felt like, you know, although that's good, I felt like had he still been here, I wouldn't be as independent as I am today. and I wouldn't know how to struggle and overcome certain situations had my dad still been living. So I don't know. Yeah, like I try to look at things in a more positive light than negative. And also for my dad, I feel like it happened because my dad was always on the go. He was never laying, he would never just lay down and get the necessary rest that he needed. He was always on the go. So even when that happened and he was in the hospital, my mom and my grandmother, all of us would always be like, you know, God did this for a reason. For him to sit down and like get some rest, because he never would sit down. Never. He was just a go-getter. That was his personality. He was always on the go. He was always helping somebody. Like, he was a giving person, and that's what I can say. Like, so I appreciate the times that I did have with my dad, and I truly miss him. And I know he's smiling down on me, and yeah, I don't know why my voice is getting shaky, y'all. Cause I'm not big on talking about death. Like, I just don't really talk about it. And I think when I do talk about it, it brings back certain feelings and emotions. And really doing YouTube is so good for me because it allows me to become vulnerable. It's therapeutic for me because I don't really just sit and talk about certain things that bother me. So yes, like, rest in peace to my dad. I truly miss you. I know you are up there having a ball. It's been 13 years since you've been gone, and we miss you, we love you, and I will continue to make you proud. So yes, y'all, this is my video. I hope you like. Do like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Drop down in the description below. Let me know if you've lost anyone and how you've overcome, you know, certain situations. And yeah, so I'm here for you all, and I want us to, you know, be able to conversate and talk about different things, different topics. And this is a no judgment zone. So all right, like, comment, subscribe, share my video, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.